Hello guys and welcome to Daily Market Movements. Welcome to another episode where today we're going to be analysing the NASDAQ100 futures chart. We have had a lot of activity on Monday, especially considering the fact that the US stock market was closed. You know, normally on a day like yesterday, you would pretty much get, maybe a slow grind towards the downside due to there being low liquidity in the market. But when I say a slow grind towards the downside, it's very rare that you see a movement over 1%. But of course, with all of the volatile news that we got from Russia and Ukraine, with Putin addressing the nation during a 30-minute video call, the markets have been volatile, and the NASDAQ 100 at this moment in time in the past 24 hours is currently down 2.2%. So, not good for investors who are currently owning the NASDAQ 100. And in fact, yesterday I'd kind of explained about the two different scenarios that could potentially play out here for the NASDAQ 100. The first one being, and this one of course being the most positive, is that we get a W pattern. So a W pattern, for those who don't know, typically signal the end of a correction phase. So that's where you get a pattern that looks, funny enough, just like a W, the letter, and that's what helps you then work back up towards those all-time highs. Now, for us to form a W pattern, we would have to go and trade towards the January 24 flows. If I just zoom in here, that was, of course, all the way down at 13,700. Now, where are we currently trading? Down at 13,750, but our low of the day was all the way down at 13,642. Depending on what future markets you are looking at, there are other charts that indicate that we did actually go as low as 13,590. So very interesting. Now, the second prediction that could potentially play out, and of course, the W pattern is still in with a chance. We don't really want to break down much lower than these current levels, otherwise it may then become a ABC correction. Now, and that was my second prediction here for the NASDAQ 100, and we've had a series of Elliott wave movements towards the upside where we've got and achieved our all-time high up at 13,790. And now what I believe we are typically seeing, or could potentially be seeing, is an ABC correction. Now, for those who don't know what an ABC correction is, there's one important rule, and that's that the C leg has to always be lower than the A leg. Sorry. So let me just get that. I've actually got the wrong one there. There we go. Here is the ABC correction pattern. So we've had our A leg down towards around 13,700. That was the January 24 flows. We've come back up with a nice short rally there towards the upside, where we did go and touch prices around that 15,200 area. And at this moment in time, as I mentioned, we have briefly broken below the January 24th lows. So, now that we have broken below those that A leg down at 13,700, that could potentially mark the ABC correction. Unfortunately, the hard thing to judge with regards to the ABC correction is how far can we go. We could see a move down towards 13,000. We could just see a move down towards 13,500, or what the lows that we've achieved earlier on this morning. That could be the lows for the ABC correction, and then going forward, we could potentially see that trend back towards that 250-day EMA. Another thing that I've spotted on this chart that's slightly worrying, or many investors will find it worrying, is the death cross. It's not really spoken about that much, but it's where the 50-day crosses below the 200-day EMA, and of course that's judged on daily closes, and we're pretty much there, guys. I think it will take a lot for us to avoid forming that death cross. And typically speaking, in the textbook, a death cross is very, very negative. It predicts a medium to longer term bearish trend. But that being said, I've done some research as of recent. I've studied a lot of other very well-known investors' research as well. And for the NASDAQ 100 and for the S&P 500, the death cross has actually been the best time to buy the indices. And let me show you why. Here, back in March 2020, we had the bear cross occur here. The prices for the NASDAQ 100 were pretty much down at 75,000. And then what happened? As soon as we formed that bear cross, the markets actually surged towards the upside. And then when we formed that bullish crossover where the 50-day EMA had actually gone and pierced back above the 200-day EMA, where was the NASDAQ 100 trading? It was trading up all the way up around 8,900. So it had a fantastic rally here from 7,600 all the way up to 8,900. We saw something very similar here as well. We formed a death cross back on the 4th of December 2018. Again, that would have been a fantastic opportunity to buy, because when the market crossed back over, we were actually higher than that point than when we actually formed that death cross. Yes, we traded significantly lower during that period. The drawdown wouldn't have been pretty, but if your outlook for investing is medium to long term, talking 2, 3, 4 years, well then you won't really be worried about this drawdown. If you're a leverage trader, of course it's slightly different. But what I'm just trying to say here, guys, is that a death cross is not typically a very negative thing with regards to the indices. With other markets like gold, for example, which seems to follow a trend for years, absolutely you should be very, very worried and very, very cautious when a death cross appears. But in the NASDAQ 100, due to its volatility, it is slightly different. It actually indicates the best time to buy the indices. Also, guys, I've done a bit of research going back along the chart, and I found this time period here for the NASDAQ 100, which takes us all the way back to the same time frame, but back in 2016. So of course here was New Year's Eve, where we had where we transitioned from 2015 into 2016, and we've had a very similar outplay in the markets, where we've formed we've fallen pretty much 15% here into correction territory. If I just try and actually make this chart a little bit bigger for you all to see, there we go. And one thing that's very similar to the chart that's currently played out this year in 2022 is, of course, on January the 20th. Now, of course, in 2022, it was January the 24th, we had that very ugly looking candlestick where we were trading down 4.9% in the NASDAQ 100. And in the final hour of trading, we had loads of investors come and snap up the NASDAQ 100 as there was fear in the markets. And as the old saying goes, when investors are greedy, be fearful, but when investors are fearful, be greedy. And that's exactly what happened on January the 24th, when investors went and snapped up the NASDAQ 100 at those lows. And here 4 days prior to January 24th, we had the exact same thing occur here for the NASDAQ 100. We'd fallen approximately 4.3%, and then as we went into the close, we formed this beautiful looking hammer candlestick, and then from there it sparked a short-term rally up towards the upside of around 5%. Again, that's pretty much the same distance that we rallied here for the NASDAQ 100 in 2022. And then look what happened, guys. We then broke down, we went and retested those January 20th lows back in 2016. We've in fact broke below them. And I think that we actually bottomed about 3% below. So yeah, 3% below that January 20th lows. But what we did form here, guys, was your typical A, B, C correction, where we had that A leg, the B leg towards the upside, and then the one important rule about the ABC corrections, that the C leg has to always be lower than the initial A leg. And that's exactly what happened here. But ultimately, did we bounce? Yes, we did. Did we go on to trade at all-time highs? Yes, we did. And look what happened in years after that. We continue to rally significantly higher. And I think this chart just shows you that things do move on. And I know that many investors at this moment in time are very, very worried about the tensions between Russia and Ukraine. But it's very important to understand that the markets actually do perform rather well during wars. I saw a stat the other day which is incredible. I thought that the week that the Pearl Harbor attacks occurred, the market still ended in the green. So it's not all doom and gloom. The markets, the world does move on. And at this moment in time, Russia haven't invaded Ukraine. So I think it's very important to stay invested. These are your long-term golden buying opportunities. So if you're an investor looking at the NASDAQ 100 near these lows, should you invest now? Probably not. I would wait a day or two, wait for the dust to settle. But this week or next week, you will get a fantastic buying opportunity. Will you cherry pick the bottom? Most probably not. But you know what? Not many investors do. It's almost impossible to do it day in, day out. So wait for the dust to settle. Wait for the news to kind of relax itself a little bit, because at this moment in time, on a day-to-day basis, we're getting some we're getting crazy news headline swings with regards to tensions between Russia and Ukraine, but it will settle, and once it does, that is when it will offer you the fantastic buying opportunity. And that is going to wrap it up for today's video. But just before I let you leave, I just want to quickly show you our brand new streaming service. We've recently launched this website that you can see in front of you. This is where we provide in-depth analysis videos as well as trading signals via our Telegram group chat. Once subscribed, you'll then have access to all of our in-depth analysis videos as well as access to our private Telegram group chat. We cover various markets such as commodities, US stocks, indices, and cryptocurrencies. We also have a video category where we provide educational content so that you can improve your trading skills. If this sounds appealing to you, then you can find our website link in the description of this YouTube video at dailymarketmovements.com. If not, then I would just like to take this time to say thank you for watching today's YouTube video. Please give my channel a subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. Thank you very much, and I hope to see you again soon.